If you're a heat and air conditioning technician or even a salesperson, what are a few ways that you can improve your sales skills, and why does it matter? This is a fantastic question. I'm Scott Bell, coming to you live from Clearwater, Florida, on a perfect day to talk about sales and business, and a fantastic day to talk about you for HVAC technicians, sales secrets. So here's the thing. For you to get better at sales, one of the easiest things for you to do is watch other sales presentations. So you're out and about. You are watching somebody at the electronics store and they're doing an upsell. You should sit there and just watch. Don't interject. Don't try to take the person off their path, but just watch and listen. See how they use their vocal pitch and tone. See how they use their body language and spacing from the person around them. And then also see how they ask questions. Now, you're going to find that in almost every given sales situation, people talk way too much. In almost every given sales situation, people don't ask enough questions. And by you just simply going out and saying, hey, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to absolutely watch. I'm going to absolutely watch and see what the people around me do. Okay. Next up, in a version of this is you could do ride-alongs. You could ride along with somebody who's got really good skills, talents, and capabilities, and take notes. Now remember, it's their sales call, not yours. Their sales call, not yours. And the reason you want to remember this is there were times where people would come ride with me and they would try to like interject and they would be like, hey, I don't like exactly the way that Scott's doing. I would never say it that way. So what they would do is they would jump in and they would say like, hey, here's the things that you need to know. You have to resist the temptation to talk. There was a time I had a sales guy ride with me and he wouldn't stop talking. So I go, hey, do me a favor. Here's my keys. Go sit out in the car until the sales call is done. And then like I'll have a conversation with you. But until then, you're done riding with me. And so it was one of those things where his company had paid for him to come ride with me, but the guy kept screwing things up. The guy kept talking and interrupting and wouldn't let me do my job. Next up, I got an awesome thing for you. But before we do that, you should go to HVACTechSecrets.com. I'll give you the goods, not the Facebook group, not the YouTube channel. That, my friend, is an email publication. I send you emails. Okay. On this list, if you're looking for increasing your sales techniques and capabilities, now you want to keep a journal. You want to take notes and like, hey, here's a couple things that I picked up. I rode with Scott and he asked a lot of really good questions. I worked with Scott. He was quiet after he asked those questions. I watched that Scott would talk about personal stuff. Whatever person, fill in the name, I just happen to be Scott today. Whatever person it was, take some notes and start looking for correlations. Start looking for, oh, when this happens, this is what it means. Oh, when that happens, that's what that means. Be aware that your skills increase by doing two things. Looking at what's working over here, looking at what's not working over here, and figuring out the reason why in between. I still have my journals from when I first started in sales, and some of the stuff like the correlations didn't match up, right? I got a couple of mentors, told them what I was up to, and I was like, hey, here's what I'm trying to do. And then they're like, hey, that's shenanigans. You're going down the wrong path. When you take some notes, you can share them with your coach, with your mentor, and say, hey, here's what's going on. Now, last on this list, once you get pretty good at these items, start looking for where things are going wrong in somebody else's sales presentation. You have over here at the beginning, I told you like the electronics store example, you have over here in the beginning, those are all the things that were going right. Now start looking for where they struggle. Start looking for all the places where you're like, I see where you're having a problem. You're talking too much. You're talking about yourself too much. Hint, super hint, that if you are struggling in sales, you should absolutely check in and see like, how much am I talking about myself versus their problem and their issues? How much am I thinking, hey, there's something going on in my life that's super more important than yours? But you take this information and you start mapping it out, and you're going to find like, here are some things you could do. Now, last on this list, bonus for you sticking around, is watching infomercials. You want to go watch some of the really old infomercials for like Ginsu knives. You want to watch some of the really old infomercials that ran a lot because they sold. And you can look and say like, hey, here's how this process went down. You can look and say like, hey, what are the opportunities for me to explain what's going on? And if you take and listen to the way that people present inside of an infomercial, Billy Mays was really good at this. You could watch Billy Mays videos and say, hey, how would Billy Mays say it? How would Billy Mays get people excited about the product or service? So I've given you 5 really good ways for you to learn how to increase your sales skills. You just got to take the time to do it. It doesn't happen magically. You got 1 of 3 things to do from here. Just 1 to 3, find the subscribe button, click on it every time I send a video. You'll get an update. 2, hit follow. 3, you know what you got to do. Share this video with a friend. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.